Really? Let's tackle the 800-pound gorilla in the room. First of all, I'd like to introduce myself if you guys are new to my channel. They call me the Fight Doctor. And I thank you guys for watching, because you're watching Master Boxing, and you gotta stay tuned, because every segment of this show, we cover the fight world and we break it down round by round. Everything in increments and nothing but the facts for you. But first of all, we're going to cover a topic of the numbers. And when I say the numbers, I mean the statistics that these guys bring into the biggest fight in boxing history, at least economically, and hype. The hype for this fight is off the charts. Continuously in social media, you're constantly running across new, fresh footage on a regular basis. And the reason why that is because there's so many things, and it's compelling how this fight's going to play out. But the 800-pound gorilla in this room is one of the things that most people are overlooking. A lot of the numbers that people are looking at, especially when it's pertaining to Manny Pacquiao, are placebo effect numbers. First of all, Manny Pacquiao back in 09, 08, 07, on down, was absolutely blazing. Everything in front of him, except with the exception of Eric Terrible. Eric Morales kind of gave him a clinic when they first fought. Manny Pacquiao defended that, came back and knocked him out twice. And then another fighter, of course we all know him, is Manuel Marquez, one of the greatest to ever lace him up. One of the best pound for pound offensive fighters, counter punchers, boxer punchers in this era, hands down. A version of Roberto Duran. Clinical skills, great counter punching, defense sound, technical for a puncher. He has solid counter punch and defensive prowess, and you can't take that away from him. He'll take on a battle. He won't retreat. He'll catch and shoot. He knows how to move you. He'll work your head. He'll work you to the body. You can believe Marquez is there. If you're looking for him, you can easily find him. These fighters have a lot in common. They're all vicious. And when you think about it, you got guys like Manny Pacquiao, who have blazed a trail of fighters. Antonio Margarita was one of these guys that fell victim to Manny Pacquiao. You got Miguel Cotto, Oscar De La Hoya, Ricky Hatton. All of these guys fell prey. But the fact of the matter is, these fighters in this particular situation all came before 2010. The fact that he's fighting everybody now, since the knockout Marquez delivered to him, everyone that he's fighting, it's going 12 rounds. The numbers used to be astounding. Consistently you hear he throws 100 punches around, which is by far not the case. Those numbers have been stagnant since 2010. You know, you can go back and you can check the record, and anytime you have an opinion, it's fine to drop it. I try to stay non-biased because I want everyone to go into this fight understanding. Don't get pulled into that placebo effect. Manny Pacquiao is a great fighter, great offensive fighter, but people are boosting his numbers, and people who really don't follow or do the research are misled. And my job is to guide you right, because you could be ending up betting on this fight. And if you're betting on this fight, you're betting on, like I said, numbers that are smoke and mirrors. He's not blazing those numbers like he's very few punches around more than Mayweather right now. And that's who's going into this fight. This is 2015. You can't take stats from 2009 and bring them to the date. And in all actuality, when he came into 147 division, the only person that he stopped is absolutely no one. Because when he stopped Miguel Cotto, it was at 145. That's not welterweight. That is light welterweight. It's a catch weight. No one else has been stopped by Manny Pacquiao. You know why? Because when you get up to this weight, these guys walk around at 165 at their lightest weight. Floyd's one of the few people that don't go outside of the 150 range in the welterweight division. That's why Miguel Cotto was drained down and so dried out when he fought Manny Pacquiao. Not to take anything away from Manny's victory, but if you look at Miguel Cotto right now, like I said, he fought at 154. He dominated. He went up to 160. People were questioning why would he do that. Well, the fact of the matter is that he is truly a middleweight, a 5'7.5" to 5'8" middleweight, which is rare when you can fight that good at that weight, at that height, because there are a lot of guys that walk around at 6 feet tall, 5'11", rangy in style, lengthy, and all so hard to reach and get to if you're at that stature at that weight class. You got Andre Ward, 6'1.5" to 6'1". So is Bernard Hopkins. Of course, Bernard's light heavyweight, but he was middleweight. Peter Quillen, a lengthy 5'10.5". All these guys are tall and rangy, and they know what to do with that range. But when you look at guys like Miguel Cotto, who drained themselves down, he was walking around at 175 back then when he was fighting at 147. The fact that he has to take off an additional 2 more pounds, 2 pounds is a lot of weight when you've already tapped into all of your electrolytes and your resources, people. The fact that Manny Pacquiao threw a lot of punches, like a whirlwind back in the day, is predicated on his youth, what he used in supplementation, which some of those elements are probably not legal, and I won't go far into that because it's irrelevant. The fact of the matter is he doesn't take them anymore. Alex Ariza was in his camp when he was throwing those punches. He was throwing that heat, and he was throwing a lot, throwing in volume. But at the same time, guys that he was throwing them at weren't great counter punches. Anytime you throw at a counter puncher, you're going to get neutralized and you're going to get countered. So I just want to clarify these things and make sure you don't go into this fight hoping and wishing that Manny's just going to come out and just start swinging 100 punches around. It's never going to happen. He's a smarter fighter than that. Needless to say, he don't want to get sidestepped and picked apart, because that's what will happen if he comes in there thinking he's going to throw a whirlwind. And if he retreats, he's going to get walked backwards, and then he's going to get punished. Like I said, clearing things up, making sure you don't go into this fight with a placebo effect. And first and foremost, when Mayweather and those guys stand in the ring, the power. Mayweather has punished more guys at 147 than Manny Pacquiao at 147. Floyd Mayweather has the stature of someone that's 147. Manny Pacquiao is going to be fighting upward all night. And he's fought upward, and he's done it well in the past. The difference is the people that he's fought and faced don't have the ability and didn't have the agility to make moves and think and adjust and adapt in the moment. Now he's fighting somebody that knows how to do that. He knows someone how to space properly. He knows where your punch range is. There's going to be 5 inches of punch severity in there, meaning he's going to have a 5-inch gap to close at the minimal 5 inches with someone who has great reflexes. So the numbers that you're looking at, you have to make sure that you are really not buying into some of these things and these statistics that people are putting out. The over and under of this fight, when it comes down to punch logistics and throwing punches around, you're talking about somewhere in the 10 to 12 punches around. Because in an entire fight, it's like he's throwing like 100 and some punches more than Mayweather at this day and time. That's not a lot. And those are the things that's going to come into fruition. You're going to see it up close and personal in less than a month from now. We're on the countdown. It's just a little bit over 20 days remaining. But don't go in there with the placebo effect thinking that Manny Pacquiao is just going to go in there and throw 100 punches around. Marcos Maidana did that in the first fight. He was tired by the 5th or 6th round. Mayweather started pulling his ears off, and then she started to rape him in the ring. It was clearly no contest after the 5th round with Marcos Maidana. Why was that? The fact of the matter is that Marcos Maidana thought that he could just overwhelm Floyd. But Floyd is better than that. No one's pushed Floyd to fight hard as he can fight. He's fought, but he hasn't dug down and took it to the gym training, the way he spars in the gym, where he bites down on his mouthpiece and goes mano a mano. And remember this was spoken from the great legend of Roy Jones, and Roy Jones said the same thing. When Ricky hadn't pressed Floyd, he made him knock him out. And that's what'll happen. If Mayweather is pressed hard enough, he's gonna fight. Shane pressed Mayweather, Floyd pressed him back and walked him back all night. Zab Judah pressed Mayweather. Mayweather pressed him back, walked him back all night. Maidana pressed Mayweather, ate leather all night. De La Hoya pressed Mayweather. He ate leather all night. Victor Ortiz pressed Mayweather. He ate leather all night. But the thing that people misunderstand is that's the first thing that a guy like Floyd Mayweather prepares for. It's pressure, volume. Bring it. Go back and look at the Victor Ortiz and Floyd Mayweather fight. Victor Ortiz was a bigger version of Manny Pacquiao. Southpaw, strong as hell, 5'9", brought the pain, and ended up getting knocked out. We're talking about a totally conditioned man. And everyone that gets in the ring with Floyd Mayweather is totally conditioned. I want you to take these things and really take them into account. If you are a fan and you're looking at it through the eyes of fandom, this video may rub you the wrong way, but it's all about giving you the facts and breaking the fight world down and giving you the right things to really weigh on, measure this fight, and really put the thing into the calculator and see really where it comes out. Because when it's all said and done, what's going to matter is May 2nd, what they do that night. But if you look at it and the way that the people have drawn this out, if you listen to those voices being vocal in social media, Manny's going to do this, Manny's going to do that. You listen to people like Skip Bayless, Manny's just going to buzzsaw and knock Floyd out early in the fight. But you're talking about knocking a guy out who hasn't even been down. That's an obstacle. Look at the way that Pacquiao is in the ring when he's fighting fighters. Even as of late, Brandon Rios stood toe-to-toe. You think Brandon Rios has a better chin than Floyd Mayweather? Chris Algieri totally doesn't. So those are the type guys that Manny's been in the ring with since he's been back. Guys that were not dangerous enough to really stop him or challenge him. He knew Brandon Rios walks around in concrete, cement shoes. Chris Algieri is not of that pedigree. He's a skilled boxer, amateur style, brought to a professional level. He can beat a lot of guys. But like I said, he was even questioned against Ruslan Provodnikov. Most people think he lost. I think he won the fight. He did enough to me as boxing, put all those skills together and show heart. But when you're coming with someone in there like a Manny Pacquiao, you got to bring more than that. So when it's all said and done, at the end of this day, and the quote that I'm going to finish with is, numbers don't lie. Men and women do. So take it with a grain of salt. You can't knock someone out just by willing that person to be knocked out and you're on the outside of the ring. It's a reason why Floyd has not been knocked out before. And you better know why. Because he's just not built that way. And he has something else to prove. And my job right now is to make sure that you just have all the insight going into that fight. Floyd Mayweather is a dog. Believe me, you wouldn't make it to 47-0 if you were just a regular guy. Stay tuned. I'm going to break down the visit that Stephen A. Smith had with Floyd Mayweather later in the month, last month, and they're starting to air that content, which is very insightful from the inside of the mind of a Floyd Mayweather, viewed through the eyes of Stephen A. Smith. They call me the Fight Doctor, and I thank you guys for watching, because you're watching Master Boxing, and this is where we break the fight world down, baby, round by round. Check us out, masterboxingmagazine.com. We'll be at the fights Saturday night. Be blessed.